The 1984 classic Karate Kid is widely credited with spawning the karate craze of the 80s, flying up high from the martial arts hype caused by legends like Chuck Norris and obviously Bruce Lee. Of course now, the Karate Kid films are considered somewhat cheesy and a little bit unrealistic, but with its incredibly popular sequel series Cobra Kai now producing its 4th season, I think it's a great time to look back at where it all started and look at the true karate in the Karate Kid.
Called crane technique.
Does it work?
If do right, no can defense.
These are the famous words spoken by Mr. Miyagi to describe the finishing move from the Karate Kid film. Many would assume that it's just cool made-up movie magic, and they'd be right, except they wouldn't. What you're seeing on screen can be found in historical martial arts manuals of Fujian White Crane and Karate. White Crane is a style of martial arts taught within the Fujian province of China. Here we see more of these techniques that can be found in the Southern Shaolin White Crane style. White Crane is the kung fu that would eventually lead to the creation of karate.
In Okinawa, all Miyagi know 2 things, fish and karate. Karate come from China, 16th century, called te, hand. Much later, Miyagi ancestor called karate, empty hand.
Okinawan farmers and fishermen traveled to China, and Chinese men traveled to Okinawa in the 14th and 15th century. Whilst trading commerce, they would also trade another resource, their martial arts knowledge. Okinawan traders would learn from kung fu masters, specifically White Crane masters in Fujian, where they conducted a lot of business, and eventually they'd mix it with their wrestling style of Tagumi and the other martial arts they had to create the Okinawan style of Te, which means hand. And eventually, this would become known as Karate, empty hand. One such master was Chojun Miyagi, who founded Goju-Ryu Karate, which is the style basis for Miyagi-Do. Crane stance is still found today within Shorin-Ryu and Shotokan Karate, and the jumping front kick is found within Karate, Taekwondo, Kenpo, and Kickboxing. If you aim it, gauge it, set it up and time it correctly, also known as if you do right, the no-can defense. Same with any other technique. This is the truth of that iconic move. The Chinese/Okinawan rattle drum, known as the Den-Den Daiko, is the secret to all karate. That sounds like a Miyagi quote.
Secret of Miyagi family karate.
This is the secret of your family's karate.
Right?
But it's actually from Chokai Kishiba, an Okinawan master of Shorin-Ryu Karate that the writer of the Karate Kid was friends with. One of the biggest keys to all fighting is power. In Japanese, the concept of power is ki. In Chinese and Okinawan dialect, it's chi. Japanese and Okinawans make use of hip movement to increase power, not just with their strong strikes, but with their strong blocks as well. This is known as a mwashiuke or uriuke, or round block. And if it looks familiar, it should. Wax on, wax off, and sand the floor demonstrate the mwashiuke or uriuke. Now how does this tie into the drum technique? Well, in Karate Kid 2, Daniel uses the hip rotation along with Uriuke and Kagezuki, which is a round punch, on repeat. With this added rotation, it's faster and hits harder. The blocks themselves may even hurt. Within my Kenpo style, we call this Hikami Shutouke Kagezuki. It can also be called outer counter punching, or it's basically the equivalent to a boxing slip and hook. Unlike the crane technique, this isn't a new powerful move that the opponent won't see coming. It's simply a way to fight better than the opponent, be faster, hit harder, and get out of the way of their attacks. It's the secret to not just Miyagi-Do, but to all karate. And then we move on to the last film.
Party time.
That was kata. That's the foundation of my karate.
In Karate Kid 3, Mike Bonds is about to defeat Daniel, until Daniel shows the foundation of his karate, kata. So what is a kata? Kata is the blueprints of karate. In a time before books, there weren't many ways to bring knowledge to hundreds of people, especially across generations and across a whole island. But senseis like Choujun Miyagi would have had hundreds of students, and this is what led to the creation of kata. Almost every traditional martial art has its own kata or form. In many ways, it's similar to shadow boxing or shadow wrestling. Each of the moves is representative of something. And you decode it using bunkai, which are drills that you practice in pairs or groups for karate. The kata that Miyagi teaches Daniel is called Seonchin, and it's a kata from Goju-ryu. Seonchin means control and pull. It implies a set of grappling techniques. If you decode the kata using bunkai, that's exactly what you get. Close-range strike counters and off-balance techniques and sweeps. Soft techniques. This is the Ju in Goju-ryu. Daniel does in fact use grappling to defeat Mike in the film when he's distracted, but it's not grappling found within Seonchin. Actually, it's not well known as a karate technique, though it can be found in karate. The technique he uses is a single-arm shoulder throw, also known as Ippon Seoinage, and it's from judo. It's very real and very useful, and that's what I want to get across. The original Karate Kid films were written by a karate black belt and choreographed by two big names in karate at the time, Sensei Pat Johnson and Sensei Fumio Demura. They have a lot more realism than they're given credit for, and they're way more criticized than they deserve. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and keep watching Combat Connections for all things martial arts. Till next time, peace.